Hey, glad you can make it back. Today we're going to do more grammar because there's lots of grammar on the GED, on both the 2013 version and the new version coming out 2014. And you're going to have to know all this stuff. One of the major parts of the GED is sentence structure. A sentence is really an independent clause. An independent clause means it's a clause that can stand by itself. It contains at least a subject and a verb. Here's an example. You will pass the GED. You is the subject. The verb is pass. In this case, the full verb is will pass, and you're going to pass the GED. You is the subject. The rest of this is called the predicate. It's you are the subject. The rest of this is what you're going to do. An independent clause can stand by itself. A sentence, which is an independent clause, can start with a capital letter and ends with a period or an exclamation point. That makes sense, right? You've heard of sentences before. It's nothing new. Independent clause may be new because it shows up in different ways, and you'll see that. What's important about independent clauses is you can put independent clauses together. Two more independent clauses combined together is called a compound sentence. Here's an example. I will pass the GED, which is the first sentence we looked at, plus if you add this sentence, I will make a whole lot of money, or make a lot of money. If you combine those two sentences, you'll get this. I will pass the GED and I will make a whole lot of money. The and is a conjunction, which means you bring two things together and you have to put a comma there because it's a little pause. I will pass the GED and I will make a whole lot of money. Alright. There's the word and. Coordinate conjunctions. Conjunctions can be used to combine independent clauses. Much like back here where this independent clause and this independent clause came together with and a comma, there are other conjunctions that make that happen. They're called coordinate conjunctions because they coordinate and conjunct things. They put things together. Examples are for, and, nor, which is kind of the opposite of or, but, or, yet, and so. There's an acronym called Fanboys. F is for, A is for and, N is for nor, B is for B is for but, O is for are, Y is for yet, and S is for so. I know. No one knows this except English teachers, and no one cares about this except English teachers, because no one really cares about coordinating conjunctions. I understand that. But they're useful because you can combine two sentences together and make your writing more fun, and it'll help you pass the GED and other tests. Again, remember, Fanboys. This should be a part of your life. No? You don't want to remember this? This is not going to be important to you later on in life? People like it. It may come in handy later. Okay, let's do some examples. Here's an example of using for like because, right? I do something for this reason. Same thing as because. Use examples of for to combine independent clauses into compound sentences. That's what we're trying to do. I sent back the soup for I thought it better to wait until a guest had arrived. Doesn't that sound formal? Doesn't that sound great? Yes. So for, using for as the conjunction, and don't forget to use a comma before the conjunction. He kept on his clothes for Scott was in company of strangers. Scott was a little strange in the first place. Why was he even thinking about taking off his clothes? But hey, he was in the company of strangers. He knew to be cool. So he kept on his clothes for Scott was in the company of strangers. Again, you want to focus on the for and the comma, not so much of how weird Scott is. Thurston. Now you try. Thurston refused to leave the island. He thought it was impossible to swim home. You may not remember, but Thurston Howell was somebody on Gilligan's Island. I know that's your favorite TV show nowadays. Love watching Gilligan Island repeats? I know I do. Let's see, let's put this word. Thurston refused to leave the island for he thought it impossible to swim home. Years. That's what Thurston thought. Here's another one. Ginger swam. Why is that? Ginger had been on an island for far too long. Ginger didn't care how long it took to swim home. We got to use for, we got to use comma. So let's put these two sentences together. Ginger swam is a real sentence because it has a subject and the verb and ends in a period. Ginger swam. We're straight. We want to combine these two sentences because it sounds a little choppy. So we're going to use the word for again. So the guess is Ginger swam, comma, for she had been on the island far too long. Probably tired of Thurston chasing her around. Even though Thurston was married to Mrs. Howe. Use for like a fancy because. That's what's going on. That's when you use for as a conjunction. Ooh, that means it's fancy. Okay, here's another example. And is also a coordinated conjunction. And you see in this sentence, because I have it highlighted in green, and he passed the test. David spent all of his money on books, computers, and education. And he passed the GED. Okay, let's try this one. This is the correct way. Here's a mistake to be fixed. David spent all his money on books, computers, and education, comma, he squandered the rest. We're missing an and here. We're missing the coordinated conjunction. When you have a comma and you start a new sentence or an independent clause, you have to have a conjunction in there or a semicolon. We'll talk about semicolons later. But you have to have at least a comma and a coordinated conjunction. You just can't start off with another independent clause. He squandered the rest. He squandered the rest as an independent clause because it didn't stand by itself. The deal is, you want to make sure it's correct. You had to fix this mistake. And the way to do that is, and he squandered the rest. Use that and. That's the mistake. Alright. Two sentences to be combined. He was not ugly, he was not dumb. This, we're going to use this time, we're going to use the word nor. He was neither ugly nor dumb. Okay? He was neither of these two things. He was not ugly, he was not dumb. This is wrong because again you need the comma and you need the coordinating conjunction. See? That's what's missing. Okay. Pick the conjunction that makes the best compound sentence. Now here's the deal. It's got to make sense. Not only do you use one of these fanboy words, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Not only do those words, but it has to make sense in the context of the sentence. He neither likes poetry, and the word nor usually goes with neither. Neither nor, either or. He neither likes poetry nor does he like prose. He doesn't like to read, basically. Let's see how the nor can get in this little space. Absolutely right. Yes, for those of you, that's Curly from the Three Stooges. You want to watch it again? That's okay. Here we go. So he neither likes poetry nor does he like prose. Okay. But, yet, or so are contrast two ideas. Or at least but and yet do. They contrast ideas. He loved him. She loved him. She loved him. But he was far too confident for her. But he was too confident. It's a contrast. She loved him. Yay! But he was too confident. It shows a contrast. Contrast means different. She loved him, yet he was too confident. Same idea, same concept. She loved him, yet he was too confident. On one side she thought one way, on the other side she thought another way. That's a contrast. Pass the GED or stay broke. This is a comparison. You can do one of the two things. It's not necessarily a contrast, but you can take one or the other. Pass the GED or stay broke. Now some of you haven't passed the GED, but you're not broke. But a lot of people, no matter what happens, they're broke. So you have a choice. The GED will help you get out of your financial straits. So, the word so shows an effect. It's kind of like therefore. He worked very hard, so he passed the GED. His passing GED was contingent upon the fact that he was working very hard. Contingent is a big word for That's what was necessary. Again, comma and the coordinating conjunction, comma and the coordinating conjunction yet, comma and the coordinating conjunction or, comma and the coordinating conjunction so. Here's the quiz. Pick the conjunction with the meaning that fixes the sentence. Here are your choices: for, and, nor, but, or, so. Yeah. She is tired, and you have two choices. But she wants to study. She's tired, yet she wants to study. Okay? Either of those two will work because there's a contrast there. She was tired, but she wanted to study. There's a contrast going on there. She was tired, yet she wanted to study. So either of those two, but or yet, would have worked just fine. Fix this sentence. He loves to party. He loves to dance. What do you think is the best one? He loves to party for he loves to dance. He loves to party and he likes to dance. He loves to party nor he loves to dance. But he loves to dance or yet so. What do you think is correct? He loves to party. What comes naturally to you? He loves to dance. Let's see what the computer says. He loves to party and he loves to dance. Good answer. All right. Combine these two sentences. Faye's hands never touch water. She never washes dishes. For, and, nor, so, but. Yeah? Do you think it's for? Do you think it's and? Do you think it's nor? Do you think it's but? Do you think it's or? Do you think it's yet? Or do you think it's so? Let's try a few. Faye's hands never touch water. For she never washes dishes? Maybe. Faye's hands never touch water and she never washes dishes. There's a relationship between these two. You don't think that either? You want to look at this for again? Faye's never touches hands for she never washes dishes. You like that? Maybe. Faye's hands never touch water. Nor does not work. But she never touches dishes. Or she never touches dishes. Yet she never touches dishes or so. How about for? What do you think about for? You want to try that? Let's see what it does. You're absolutely right. For she never touches dishes. Because it's a causal relationship. Her hands never touch because. Basically because she never washes dishes. Right? Now I know about her shower situation. But there she is. Alright. One more. He used same coordinating conjunctions. He used meditation as a method for focusing. He passed the GED test. Again, you can tell the problem, you can hear it. He used meditation as a method for focusing. He passed the GED test. There's a connection between these two. The connection is one thing happened, therefore something else happened. Do you think it's for? No. Do you think it's and? No. Nor? You don't think that's either? But he used meditation as a method for focusing, but he passed the GED test. You assume meditation would help him pass the GED test. I don't think it's but. Or doesn't really work. He used meditation, or he passed the GED test. That's not quite right. Yet he passed the test. Yet and but kind of need the same thing. How about so? Oh, you think so, huh? He used meditation as a method for focusing, so, therefore, he passed the GED test. I think that could be right. So is correct. Great job. Okay, I think that's about it for today. We'll do more conjunctions and more practice perhaps later on. Thank you for your time. I know you enjoyed coordinate conjunctions, and remember, fanboys!